All right, so now that you have a good understanding of all of the things related to LeadStream, on this specific training, we're going to dive deep into the Blind Pull LeadStream concept, and we're going to build out a multi-step lead stream that will help you understand how you can have a pool of data that works through a systematic for-call process. So in our example for this training, we're going to talk about calling winbacks, people that were previously customers and you want to win them back. Maybe you want to do 4 specific calls to them, and we're going to talk about everything that you need to put together to make that work so that you can have multiple people on your team calling through that data. So let's get into it. So first thing we need to do is we need to jump over to the contact manager as an admin. From the contact manager, we're going to click on the gear over here on the right hand side and go down to LeadStream. Now, if you're going to be setting up and managing a lot of lead streams, I would recommend that you save this as a quick link so that you can quickly get to the lead stream management page from anywhere within your back office. But from here, we're going to create a new lead stream. So we're going to start by clicking on Add Lead Stream. We're going to enable this lead stream because we're ready to start getting to work as soon as we're done. And let's call this Winbacks Call 1. Now remember, this is going to be a 4-call series that we make sure that every one of our past customers goes through. And so this is just going to be call 1. So each lead stream is going to recycle into the next lead stream. So description. The type of lead stream is going to be a blind pull lead stream. So I'm going to choose blind/preview pull as the type. Once I do that, I'm going to see the preset option show up, and I want to create a specific preset for the first call. So I'm going to click on Create New Preset. I'm going to name it Winbacks Call 1. I might have a phone script that I want to display to my reps. I would probably want to have a specific voicemail that we professionally get done. I'll come back to that in a minute, so I'm going to leave that set to Ask Me for right now. We're going to go to Dialing Sets. We're going to set the default for both of these, but we're going to actually come back to this in a minute. For caller ID, we'd probably want to have a specific caller ID, maybe our direct support number or sales number, something like that we'd want to have added to our account to use as the caller ID. And I'm going to enable call recording. So I'm going to go ahead and save changes. Now that we've got the dialer preset created, we can move on to the next step, which is our distribution folder. Where are we going to put the data that's going to feed this lead stream? So I'm going to click on Create a New Folder. I'm going to name this folder Winbacks Call 1 and click OK. So that's our distribution folder and then our receiving folder. So as we're calling through all of our winbacks, we need to have a receiving folder. I'm going to create a new receiving folder on this lead stream. I'm going to name it Winbacks RCV, and I'm going to click OK. I'm going to go ahead and lock that so that way my team can't change it. I want to make sure that everything's going through the same process. And recycle folder. This is where things are going to get a little bit different here. So we are not going to recycle back into the Winbacks Call 1. Remember, we want to do a systematic 4-call process to all of our past customers. So this might be anybody who's canceled in the last 30, 60, or 90 days, whatever that might be that helps give you that cohort of contacts that you want to be reaching out to. You're going to import those into your PhoneBurner account into the Winbacks Call 1, but we want to recycle them into our Call 2. So we're going to create a new folder here. We're going to name it Winbacks Call 2, and we're going to click OK. So now that we've decided that we're going to recycle into a different folder, we need to figure out, okay, when should we recycle it? Since these are past customers, we probably don't want to call them hours or minutes after the last call, we probably want to wait a day or two just to give them a chance to receive that call, that voicemail, or whatever it is that we did. That maybe we sent an email and a text message. We want to give them a chance to respond to us. So maybe we want to have 2 days between calls, right? So we set our recycle time to 2 days. And then finally, the last option here, sort by custom field. Now, I've created a custom field on my account called lead prioritization. I might have different customers that I want to prioritize differently based off of maybe how much they've spent with us in the past. Your prioritization is going to be different for anything, but in this particular case, I have a 1 through 9 value on the leads that I'm going to be adding in here, and so I'm going to prioritize my win-back calls based off of that lead prioritization. So I'm going to set the custom sort to be set to that lead prioritization field, and let's say a lower value is better. So I want it ascending, so 1 to 9. If the higher value was a more important thing, like let's say we're doing it based off of total dollars spent, things like that, then you might want to change that to descending, because then it would be the people with that have spent the most money with you would be at the top of the list, the top higher priority, and then you'd work through the rest of them. So anyway, I'm going to leave that set to ascending 1 to 9 or A to Z. In my particular case, it's going to be a numeric field that is actually 1 to 9. So miscellaneous, I could hide. I'm actually going to hide total number on this one just so that you can see that in action. Now we're going to go ahead and add our recipients. And I want everybody on my team working through this, so I'm going to select all, but remember you can select individuals. You don't have to add all of your team members to this specific lead stream. You can have some people that are doing call 1, some people that are doing call 2, and others doing call 3, or any combination thereof. I'm not going to put any limits here, but of course any blind pull lead stream could have total or daily lead limits, so that you're limiting how much time any one individual can spend in that lead stream. I'm not going to set any limits on this one again. And I'm going to set the pull type to blind because I just want everybody calling from the same pool of data. And I'm going to use the preset that is configured at the lead stream level. And I'm going to click Add Recipients. Now remember, if I ever want to change these settings for any one of my team members, I can edit those team members and I can adjust their total or daily lead limit, or whether or not they're using a custom dialer preset for them specifically. But again, in this particular case, I'm going to create a series of presets that are unique to each of the steps. So it's not going to be unique to the reps. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of that. And so now I have my team members added to the lead stream, but there's still some other setup that I need to do, right? This is only call 1 for first off. And then I also need to continue to configure the dialer preset. Remember, I want to leave voicemails, but I want to have a specific voicemail for each step. So we need to go through that process real quick. And of course, we need to import our data. So let's talk about the dialer presets and creating custom dispositions and voicemails that go along with that. So we're going to go to our dial session settings. From dial session settings, let's go to dispositions first. Let's say we want to have a specific set of dispositions for the Winback. So we could use the default as our base, and we could copy that. Now we can edit this, and we're going to name this Winbacks. Save changes. I could also do Winbacks Call 1. If I wanted to have a unique dialing set for each stage, which might make sense if I'm sending emails, right? So I could have different emails for each step of this. I could also assign the voicemail directly to the disposition here as well. So I could create the voicemail and assign it here. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to assign the voicemail at the dialer preset level. So we're going to go ahead and cancel out of that. But let's actually create a Winbacks Call 1, Winbacks Call 2, Winbacks Call 3 disposition set. So we've got the first one created. And again, we could have different emails and text messages potentially applied to each one of these. But for concepts, we're not going to go through creating all those emails and everything, but let's go ahead and copy Winbacks Call 1, edit the name. This is going to be our Winbacks Call 2, save changes. Copy this one. This is going to be our call 3. Save changes. And remember, we're doing a full 4 call step, so let's do Winbacks Call 4. So now we have the ability to customize these buttons. Some of them could have a voicemail button, some of them could not have a voicemail button, right? In fact, that makes a lot of sense. Let's go into calls 2 and 3. Let's delete our voicemail button on calls 2 and 3, right? So the first time we call a contact in our Winbacks campaign, we want to leave a voicemail. And the last time we call them in our Winbacks campaign, we may want to leave a voicemail, but we're not going to leave voicemails on call 2 and 3. So we just delete the button, and now it's not even an option when our team is making calls. So now that we've customized our disposition, so we have the custom dispositions. Again, you could add various emails and text messages to also be accompanied with these dispositions. Now let's go to, that was our dialing set. We actually need a live answer set. So let's copy this default and let's rename this one Winbacks. Now we don't necessarily need a call 1, 2, 3, and 4 for a live answer set, because once we've connected with them, then we've got all of the, the outcome of a live answer is going to be the same whether it's call 1, 2, 3, or 4, right? So we don't necessarily need to create different versions of the live answer set. And our dispositions might be different. In this particular case, I'm not going to worry about making any changes here, but I might want to have a disposition like support related issue, pricing was too high. Like, how do I want to track the outcomes of a win-back campaign and the results of those calls? And some of that might be tied to the actual custom fields, where I have my reps fill in data in the custom fields, and then there's a disposition that represents specific types of outcomes. But again, I'm not going to worry about diving too deep into this, we're all set here with our disposition. So let's jump over to our voicemail library. Let's create some voicemails. I'm going to upload Winback Call 1, and then we need Winback Call 4, right? Winback Call 4. And of course, I'm just grabbing some sample voicemails, so it doesn't really matter what audio file I choose. You're going to want to be a lot more particular about what you select. So here we have our voicemails. We've got our dispositions. Now let's jump over to the dialer preset settings. We see our Winbacks Call 1 dialer preset that we created in our LeadStream configuration. We need to edit this because we need to assign our voicemail. We need to assign the dialing set and the live answer set. And of course, if we created a custom caller ID, we'd probably want to update that here as well. So we're going to go ahead and save changes. And now we have Winbacks Call 1 set. Let's go ahead and copy that. This is going to be Winbacks Call 2. Voicemail is going to be set to none. And dial-in set is going to be Winbacks Call 2. Save changes. Winbacks Call 3. No voicemail. Dial-in set 3. And then we're going to copy Winbacks Call 3, make 4. Choose our voicemail for 4, our dial-in set for 4. Save changes. And we're all set. We have our dialer presets. So now we have our lead stream. If we go to leads, We have our Winbacks Call 1. We don't have any leads in there yet, so we can't begin a dial session. We also don't have Call 2, 3, and 4 in our lead stream. So let's jump back over to our lead stream, settings, and let's create the rest of our lead stream. So we're going to go enable. This is going to be Winbacks Call 2. Second call in the Winbacks campaign. Blind Pull is our lead stream type. Dialer preset, since we've already created them, we can just choose them. We don't have to create them here. Distribution folder is going to be our Winbacks Call 2. Remember, because all of our contacts from Call 1 that we didn't connect with are going to recycle into Winbacks Call 2. And the receiving folder, we already have a Winbacks receiving folder, so we can just continue to use that if we want. You can also create receiving folders specific to each lead stream. And in this case, we're going to recycle into a new folder, which is going to be our Winbacks Call 3. So everything from Call 2 that we don't connect with is going to recycle into Call 3. Click OK. And what is our recycle like? What is our recycle time going to look like? Last time was what, 2 days? Maybe we want 3 days after this call before they get recycled. And we do want to continue to sort by our lead prioritization custom field. And we're going to add our recipients. Again, we're just going to add everybody and add. Now let's jump back to lead stream, settings, add our next lead stream, Winbacks Call 3. Blind Pull, preset, Winbacks Call 3, distribution folder is going to be our Winbacks Call 3 distribution folder. Remember, Winbacks Call 2 recycles into Winbacks Call 3. Receiving folder, we can reuse our receiving folder, lock it in, recycle. We're going to create a new folder here. This is our Winbacks Call 4. Click OK. And let's say we want 4 days after this call. We're going to use our lead prioritization and add our recipients. Get them added. Go back to our lead stream settings. So now we've got call 1, 2, 3. Let's add our 4th call. Winbacks Call 4. 4th call in our Winbacks campaign. Give it a description if we want. Blind Pull. Preset's already configured, so we'll assign that. Distributing from the Winbacks Call 4 folder, because that's where Call 3 recycled into. We're going to use the same receiving folder for all of these again. And now our recycling is going to be a little bit different, right? We don't want to go back in here. We could potentially just keep recycling into Call 4, but we don't want to do that. We're going to do Winbacks Done. Hit OK. And let's say we recycle here. Doesn't really matter because we're not calling off of Winbacks Done necessarily, but we could do 1 day, we could do 30 days, whatever it is that you want to put in here that when you want to send them back to your Winbacks Done. That's when they'd get moved back to the admin account in this particular case. And then of course we want to do our lead prioritization, and we could hide this or not. I'm not going to worry about it. And we'll go to adding our recipients, get our team members added. No limits, done. So now we have our 4-call lead stream win-back campaign. So win-back call 1 distributes from the Winbacks Call 1 folder and recycles into the Winbacks Call 2 lead stream. Winbacks Call 2 distributes from the Winbacks Call 2 distribution folder and recycles into Winbacks Call 3. Winbacks Call 3 distributes from Winbacks Call 3 folder, recycles into Winbacks Call 4. Winbacks Call 4 distributes from Winbacks Call 4, and recycles into the Winbacks Call or Winbacks Done folder. Now you'll notice that this is a folder, and this doesn't have a folder icon. That means it's recycling into another lead stream. This means it's recycling into a folder that's not tied to a lead stream, indicating that it's not really going to go anywhere at that point, unless you do something. So now that we've got that all set, let's get our leads imported into this lead stream. So we're going to go to Contacts. We're going to click on Import. We're going to browse our files and grab our file that we want to import. We can map everything. We got our names mapped, all of our custom information, phone numbers, whatnot. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I do want to point out that we are going to map our lead prioritization. Obviously, there's other training on importing. You can watch that if you want to get a detailed importing training. So we map that, go next. Folders. Remember, everything starts at Winbacks Call 1, so we're going to import our data into the Winbacks Call 1 folder. We could tag these, we could add a source, so we might want to create a source of past customers. I'm not going to worry about scrubbing for duplicates because I know these are all duplicates. And you'll see here I've got all of the prioritization getting mapped in, and we're going to go yes, please import. So now our file's being imported. You can see it's now completed. I can click here to view the imported contacts. If I preview one of these, we'll see this one has a priority 8. If I go to my Leads tab, we'll see Winbacks Call 1. I don't see the total number of contacts in this lead stream because I hid that on this one. Whereas our hot and fresh one, you can see it does in fact show how many leads are in there. So that's kind of the difference between hiding and showing, I guess. Let's go back to Winbacks Call 1. Let's start dialing. So now remember, this is a blind pull lead stream. Because it's a blind pull lead stream, multiple people can be calling from the lead stream at the same time, and nobody will be calling the same contact. So here you can see I skipped the step to configure the dial session because every aspect, all of the settings for this dial session had already been configured in the dialer preset. So I was able to go straight to this page where I needed to get connected. So I click on Grant Mic Access and I get connected. Once I'm connected, I can click on Start Dialing, and it's going to start calling through my contact. So here you can see it's the Iron Fist, and he is a lead prioritization of 1. If I click voicemail, he didn't answer, I move on to the next call. Still lead prioritization 1. So the way the system is going to distribute contacts to me or to my team in this particular lead stream is going to be based off of newest, freshest, uncalled leads first and their lead prioritization. So any contacts that have never been called will go up to the top, but we'll also take into consideration the lead prioritization. Now, we just imported 89 contacts into this pool. So they all were imported at the same time. So they all essentially have the same date that they were added to the system, maybe fraction of a second different. But we also need to take into account this lead prioritization. So all of the ones are going to get called first. Let's say we set an appointment with him. So he's actually taken out of the lead stream. He's not going to recycle anymore. Let's say we leave a voicemail for this one. Let's say he answers and unavailable, or somebody answers, they're unavailable. So we're off to our next call. Maybe we've got another voicemail. I'm going to just do a few calls because I want you to see it will eventually get to our prioritization number 2s. Let's say we need to follow up with this person later. Another voicemail. Another voicemail. We should be almost to the end here. And we'll do another voicemail. Getting close. I know it. I feel it. There it is. Now we've moved on to our number 2. So we'll go, it would now be 2s until all the 2s have been called, and then it would move on to the 3s. So anyway, let's go ahead and end this dial session. Refresh this. Still shows that we can begin a dial session because there's still data in there. If we go to our Winbacks Call 2, there's nothing to be called yet. Why? Because if we jump over to contacts and we take a look at our receiving folder, you'll see that the 10 contacts that I called and didn't connect with have not yet recycled. So they're still waiting for another day or 2, in this particular case 2 days, before they'll be available to be called for call 2. Right? So they're going to sit here to be recycled. Finally, and I know we've been here for quite a while, so thanks for bearing with me here. I'm gonna reorder these folders, right? So I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. I've got my Winbacks Call 1, and then let's do everything else as a subfolder underneath that. I'm gonna do the same thing with my hot and fresh. Make that a subfolder. Now if I go back to contacts, I could actually change the way that looks. So anyway, that is a quick little overview. I know I ran through everything fairly quickly, but we walked through how you could create a 4-call campaign, Blind Pull LeadStream campaign for your past customers. In this case, I called it a Winbacks campaign. This is just an example. Hopefully you can take this and apply it to your needs. Do you have a specific set of data that you want your team working through consistently in a very systematic pattern? If so, you just daisy chain your lead streams, move them from one call to the next, and then all you have to do is keep putting data into the top of the funnel. You just need to import your data or use the API or Zapier to get your data into the Winbacks Call 1, the very top distribution folder, and then your team, they will just go to leads and they will work through these lead streams. In fact, while we're here, let's reorder these as well, right? We might want to have Call 1 at the top, Call 2 next, Call 3 after that. That way they're in some sort of an order. Maybe we want hot and fresh up at the top as well, so we can move that. So you can reorder the lead streams how you see them on this page here. So, all right, so that's it for this specific training. Thanks for bearing with me. I know this was a long one, but we covered a lot of great information that I think can help you and your organization just get more done using the power of PhoneBurner. Thanks again, and happy dialing.